So common myths about schizophrenia, that it means the person has a split personality. It doesn't. It doesn't mean the person has multiple personalities. It doesn't mean the person is always violent, and it doesn't mean the person is always hearing voices. It is a disorder affecting thinking, perception, and behavior. It is not the same thing as dissociative identity disorder, which is the thing where people really do have another personality, or sometimes several personalities. Well, there's even a version called polyfragmented dissociative identity disorder, where they have many personalities. But that's not the same as schizophrenia. The confusion comes from the name itself. Schizophrenia comes from the Greek words meaning split mind, but this refers to a disruption in thinking, perception, and reality testing, not to multiple or split personalities. So what does disorganized thinking sound like? Right, William is a person living with schizophrenia. In this clip, he appears to show a positive symptom called thought disorder, where the person's ideas may make sense individually, but become difficult to follow because the connections between them are unclear. And it results in disordered speech. That's why he's saying he's showing disordered speech. This is how you know they're having thought disorders.
The third type of symptom that may be present is disorganization of thought and speech.
So that the thoughts are disconnected, and when a person speaks, there's either a great deal of tangential, circumstantial, rambling kinds of lack of connectedness of one thought to the other.
Like in the daytime, when I be outside in the sun, I used to show my friends things that they hadn't seen before, like the halo. See, like halo, when I was 19, when I was preaching, I had my trials, I used to see a little light over my shadow on the ground in the daytime. And then now, ever since then, it's like a light coming further down over my body, around my shadow. It's over my body, but around my shadow, and I see the light, which is your halo, your aura. And that's why everybody can't see that. But if you see, you got something to do with the drugs too, we say. And now I don't know what's for real. I know what I see, but I don't know if it's for real or not. And so that's why you say people different. And see, like that anointing, like see, like sometimes when I come outside, I can see when I look at the trees, the wind starts blowing. We know we get oxygen from the plants, and we get them carbon dioxide. And so it's the wind usually blows sometimes, but it don't blow all the time. Like when I'm in the house a long time, it blows real strong.
So he starts out, basically, he's about in the daytime, he goes outside and he's seeing lights in his shadow that are spread to become a halo around his shadow. And he thinks other people can see this as well, he's saying, isn't he? And there's a point where he says something about, and when you've got someone doing the drugs, they say, I don't know if it's for real. I don't know if what I see is real. So, and then he's saying that's why you see people different. And then the end of it, he's not really talking about the halos, is he? He says about anointing. And he sees something about the trees and that, you see, so it becomes disjointed. Though at first, and there's a thing called religious delusions, he's probably having some sort of religious delusions. So the themes are, spiritual experiences, halos and auras, reality versus perception, medication, and seeing people differently. Don't automatically assume the reference to drugs mean recreational drug use. People with mental illness often refer to prescribed psychiatric medication as drugs. The ideas are not random, but the links between them are difficult to follow. And there's also a thing called neologisms. It's a completely new word or phrase invented by the person that has meaning only to them. It isn't the same thing as making up a funny word. The person often experiences the word as meaningful and real. They may not realise that nobody else knows what the word means. So they haven't thought up something new and made a name for it. They think the word is real. An example is something like, the government are using splinkification rays, or I'm suffering from zortosis. These words don't exist outside the person's own thinking. Neologisms are often associated with severe thought disorder and schizophrenia, although they can occur in other conditions too. Because like when you hear him saying indiscernible words and that, he could possibly be. I don't think he really was. I think he just became indiscernible, but that's a possibility when people have thought disorders. They can make up a word that doesn't mean anything to anyone else, but they think it's a real word, and they may act surprised when you don't understand the word. You don't know what they're talking about. It's a psychotic disorder. Psychotic disorders can affect thinking, beliefs, perception, and your sense of reality. Examples are schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, delusional disorder, and substance-induced psychosis. But there's a whole range of psychotic disorders. And positive versus negative symptoms of schizophrenia. So positive symptoms are things that are added. So this is when they're having hallucinations, delusions, thought disorder, and disorganized speech. And negative symptoms are when things are reduced. So there's alogia, reduced speech, so they don't speak. Or when you speak to them, they might take a very long time to respond, and they're not ignoring you. It just takes them a very long time to respond. Avolition, which is reduced motivation, and they might really not move a lot, really be really slow to move, and they'll lose motivation to do things. And flat affect, so no facial expression. They don't show any emotion on their face. And social withdrawal, they don't want to see people and talk to people. And there's anhedonia, a reduced ability to experience pleasure or enjoyment. So they don't take pleasure in food. Or that might be a video game they normally enjoy playing. They can't take pleasure in things. And so the simple way to understand this is positive symptoms of what the person does and negative symptoms of what the person doesn't do. So what does in remission mean? Manson's 1976 diagnosis was paranoid schizophrenia in partial and fluctuating remission. Remission does not mean cured, gone forever, no symptoms. It means the symptoms have reduced, functioning has improved, but the symptoms may return, because they say partial and fluctuating as well. So he was slipping in and out of symptoms. But they don't use all these different words to describe schizophrenia now, like the different categories, like paranoid. When I was first learning about this, they still used hebephrenia. Paranoid and hebephrenic schizophrenics were the two different categories. But if you go right back to the 50s, there's catatonic as well. There's lots of different words that they don't use anymore. Now we just say the person's schizophrenic and they have positive and negative symptoms. And in remission just means their symptoms are clearing up a bit and they're functioning again. They're all right, basically. They're having a good period. And what is reality testing? Because this is one of the things they say Manson showed in the report. Reality testing is the ability to distinguish between reality and thoughts, beliefs, perception, and imagination. You remember we just heard William there, and I put it in italics for a reason. William at one point says, when people take the drugs, I know from what I can see, but I don't know if it's for real or not. So that's him starting to question his psychosis, his delusion. He's starting to, because to them it's real. When someone's having a delusion, it's their reality. And so he's starting to question whether it's real or not. So is he completely convinced or is he questioning his own experience? This is exactly what psychologists mean by reality testing.